All right, so the Young Turks continue to melt down. Cenk Uygur, I honestly don't know what he thinks he's doing, but it is funny to me. They had less than 3,000 people watching their show today. I know that. And so I think the Young Turks feel like they've painted themselves into a corner, and now they got nothing else to do except just swing at everything. And so Cenk tweeted this out the other day. This is on June 3rd. He says, National Review has confirmed lunatic Donald Trump believed he's going to be reinstated as president. His followers are detached from reality, but I'm curious if loony left. He sounds like Bill O'Reilly. If the loony left is going to point out this is crazy, or are they never going to criticize Trump under any circumstances? It's June. And he's calling people the loony left. They used to say that about Cenk. I know.
Oh, my God.
So then Cenk tweeted this out. This is from today. So today he just started going crazy. Tweeting just about me almost exclusively. He goes, because I guess, it's really there are a lot of people unsubscribing from his show. A lot of paying members aren't paying anymore because I've showed people that Cenk Uygur smears Julian Assange, smears Aaron Mate, is on the take, is pro-imperialism, and runs interference for Democratic politicians instead of pressuring them. And, he's a corporate. He takes money from DNC's biggest donors to fund his show. So we did that. It's hurting them. And I did that because they tried to smear me over forced to vote, and that was not okay. So gloves were off. And so I told the truth about them, and now they're really hurting, and now they've tried a tack of not talking about me at all for a few months. It hasn't worked, and so now they're going nuts.
I knew I was being baited. I'm being baited now.
Being baited. So here's what he said. He goes, perfect representation of the soulless cable news actor is Bill Hemmer. When he was on CNN, he played his role of being a neutral robot. Now he has a new director. He has a new director at Fox News, and they want him to be a villain who hates Muslims, so he plays that role by attacking Ilhan Omar. Pathetic. Okay. And then under here, some random person with, I think, 12 followers says Ilhan Omar must be stripped of her committee duties. Okay. So then the next week, watch how unhinged he is. Why don't you watch this? He goes, this is the kind of right-winger who pretends to support the left as she continually pretends that some progressives are not left enough. In her support of loony left grifters like Jimmy Dore. I don't even know if she's a real person, but it says in her profile she's a conservative. What? So this guy says, so conservatives disliking Omar is Dore's fault? What? I don't know. I don't even know what the point of this tweet is. I don't know what he's trying to say. There's a right-winger who's pretends to support a lefty, that's just a right-winger not liking Ilhan Omar. I don't know what you're doing. So that's the kind of stuff he was doing today, right? Just, Jimmy Dore got us. And in her profile, if her profile says conservative, then what the F are you talking about? Does it bother you that Jimmy Dore is holding your feet to the fire? Yes. She's not pretending to be a left. He says this is the kind of right-winger who pretends to support the left. She says she's a conservative in her profile. She's not pretending.
Why do facts always escape them?
It's amazing, right? So here's another one. He says, I know that Jimmy Dore is an unstable con man. I think he was saying that into a mirror. I know that Jimmy Dore is an unstable con man, and that right-wingers love him as he helps them attack real progressives.
Name them. What real progressive you talk about, Cenk, sweetie?
Which ones? Which real progressives? But you mean the ones that you were running interference for around forced to vote, when 9 out of 10 of your own paying members wanted you to do forced to vote, but you wouldn't because that revealed you as a liar, as a bought and paid for corporate tool, which is what Cenk Uygur and the Young Turks are. I know Jimmy Dore is an unstable con man, and that right-wingers love him as he helps them attack real progressives. But I want people to understand that a lot of his supporters are not left-wing at all. While they pretend to be left-wing in their comments, it's a scam. He sees a conspiracy around every corner, this guy. It's a scam. I'm a big scammer and a big grifter. You want to know who the big scammer and grifter? By the way, the right-wingers, when I go on Tucker Carlson, I get him to change his mind about Julian Assange, Cenk, unlike what you would do, which is smear Julian Assange. Tucker Carlson said, I changed my mind on Julian Assange based on your argument, Jimmy. So that used to be the gold standard for lefties, is that you can convert right-wingers. Cenk can no longer do that. That's not happening. Cenk is 100% shit-lib, pro-Democratic Party guy.
So, Jimmy, when you changed Cenk's mind on the death penalty,
right?
Were you just being a grifter at that point?
I guess I was just being a grifter when I got him to change his mind on the death penalty. He did it in one segment. He went from being pro-death penalty to against the death penalty, and he turned to me and he said, you made me a little more liberal today. So here's Cenk Uygur doing the grift. Now, I don't know if you know what I've been saying. This is what I've been saying since COVID started at the end of every one of my videos. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video. So there's me telling everybody to keep your freaking money. COVID, everybody's hurting. And Cenk Uygur, that's grifting. You want to see what a real grift is? Here's a real grift. They hired a marketing company to bullshit their own members into thinking that they were desperate for money, and they would send, look, it's Cenk's from his iPhone.
Oh, that's important.
From Cenk's iPhone. They would send this to you. Get an email. It says from Cenk's iPhone. It says, oh my God, it's got to be super serious. So here it is. Dear Professor Weed, that's my handle. I'm writing from my phone, so I'll keep this short. This is all made up. In the last 2 days, we've raised $7,346 towards our December matching fund.
Have you?
Which we'll use at the end of the month to entice new supporters to donate for the first time. So it's just, we would raise funds so we can get people to give us more funds.
It's like a pyramid scheme.
Now I'm asking you to make one final push to help us reach $10,000 before midnight. Before midnight. Does somebody kidnap your CEO, your president of the company, and now they're holding them hostage? What happened? Is this a hostage situation? If we don't get the 10 grand by midnight, they're going to kill the baby.
Not the baby.
Not the baby. You want to see worse than this? By the way, 3 times a week they send this out. They would send this out last year. Want to see worse? Here's worse. Luckily, progressives aren't backing down. AOC and Rashid Tlaib introduced an amendment increasing the direct payments from $600 to $2,000 and are forcing a vote this week to improve the bill. They literally put forced to vote in their fucking campaign. So this is in last December, and they're trying to get people to give them money. Why would you give them money? Well, this is a huge moment, and progressive media needs to stand up and support these brave leaders. So they introduced a bill to get us a $2,000 check, and progressive media needs to stand up and support them. And how do they stand up and support them? Give us money. Chip in now and support TYT's efforts to spread the word and pass. Don't send money to AOC or to the Squad or to the Democratic Party or to some organization or to blah, blah, blah. Send it to the Young Turks. And what's going to happen then? Well, what's going to happen then is they're going to help spread the word to pass AOC and Rashid Tlaib's amendment to increase COVID aid from 6. So they're going to help you get your $2,000. Give money to TYT, and they're going to get you your $2,000 check from his iPhone. From his iPhone at 2 a.m. They used to say, where's the one I used to say? Cenk's iPhone at 2 a.m. And so this is the big problem. This is what happened. Cenk wanted to be a big-time player like CNN, and he got in bed with the biggest DNC donors there are, and now he's a shitlid. And kind of ironic how Cenk accuses Jimmy of being a scammer looking for money when, for the past year, every video he puts out, he mentions how no one has a job and just enjoy the video. Jimmy hasn't done anything slimy like beg for money and say he will push politicians' votes. So let's watch it again. Let's watch it one more time. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you we join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video. He attacks so this is great. Cenk Uygur, this is more projection. This is more projection from Cenk Uygur as he's sliming and McCarthy smearing Julian Assange and Aaron Mate here and being pro-Syria war. Cenk says this. He says he attacks the very best progressive journalists in America. This is what he's saying this about me. He's saying I attacked them. He says journalists like Ryan Grimm, who gaslit who works for that billionaire Pierre Omidyar over at The Intercept and writes bullshit articles against Force the Vote and runs interference for the Squad. And Justin Jackson ratioed that guy's ass every time on Force the Vote. He's a fucking Ryan Grimm could not be more transparent. He is not arguing in good faith. He was doing his duty to protect politicians and his access. And everyone saw it. So he mentions Ryan Grimm. And then David Sirota came on the show, unfortunately, and said that McCarthy would become speaker if they did Force the Vote. So I didn't attack him. I just showed him. And then Amy Goodman on Democracy Now!, we've showed you how she's not telling the truth. She's not telling you the story about Syria, and she was another shit lib on Russiagate. And Aaron Mate called her out on that. So he says he's attacked Amy Goodman and then said people should donate to him instead of read the comments accusing her of being a CIA stooge. If you think Amy is CIA, you might be a lunatic. So just call me Looney Lefty again. So here's Cenk actually doing the thing he's claiming I'm doing, that I'm attacking the best progressive journalists. Okay, here we go.
Well, obviously it's hard to tell who's telling the truth here, but lately I have to confess that WikiLeaks has not had an astounding record. The way that Assange seems to be backing Donald Trump over and over and over again, it makes me very seriously question Assange's efforts to actually be a journalist and not to be a partisan. And I get it.
Cenk is saying someone else is too partisan. The guy who did Loser Donald segments, the guy who says you can't vote third party, you have to vote for the Democrats, the whole thing, Hillary Clinton couldn't wait to throw Bernie under the bus for Hillary. The same thing with Joe. It's amazing. Told everybody to vote for Joe Biden while extracting nothing. But he's saying that Julian Assange has picked a side. And he's saying he's picked a side with the guy trying to kill him, Donald Trump. That's what a maniac he is. That's Cenk Uygur trying to get funding like Bellingcat. This is him trying to get funding from the government, from the State Department, from the National Endowment for Democracy. That's why he would do this against Julian Assange, because he needs the money. And watch, here we go.
Well, obviously it's hard to tell who's telling the truth here, but lately I have to confess that WikiLeaks has not had an astounding record. The way that Assange seems to be backing Donald Trump over and over and over again, it makes me very seriously question Assange's efforts to actually be a journalist and not to be a partisan. And I get it. I get why he hates the Democrats. They're trying to put him in prison. Okay,
right. But
at the same time,
so are Republicans. Let's be clear about that.
And now the Republicans are too, and they have been in the past.
And so it doesn't make any sense that he would pick a side when either party is trying to kill him. So what I just said doesn't make any sense, and whatever. I have to say this for my new donors. I'm trying to get donors from the National Endowment of Democracy. And so I have to shit on Julian Assange, and that's what this is.
But it seems like Assange has picked a side, and And look, it makes me question his reporting, and so that's the situation we're in now. So now, is he just leaking things that he gets, and no matter what? In which case, I would respect that. Or is he selectively leaking based on his political motives? Now that suspicion is out there and it's real and it's possible, well, now I'm concerned that it can't be trusted.
So this fucking charlatan takes $24 million from the establishment, right wingers, and DNC donors. This guy sitting there with a $10,000 watch on. Julian Assange is in prison, being tortured, and he's shitting on him. He's smearing him. He's smearing him as some kind of bad Trumper. That Julian Assange is a Trumper. Some kind of white nationalist fucking bad guy working with the Russians and Trump. That's what he's doing to a journalist who's been persecuted for the last 10 years. That's what he did. And now they're doing that to Aaron Mate. And he's doing that for money. He doesn't even believe it, but he's doing it. He knows it's ridiculous. He knows he just described himself when he was trying to describe Julian Assange. He just described himself. He's picked a side, and he can't be trusted. That's Cenk. Here's their forced to vote. Should progressives in Congress withhold their votes to Pelosi unless she promises a Medicare for all? Yes, over 85% of their own paying members. This is their paid member section. 85% said yes, do it. Cenk Uygur said no, we're not doing it, and he's going to smear the people who are for it. That's almost, if you round up, that's 9 out of 10 of their own viewers. And here's Cenk Uygur. The Young Turks host Cenk Uygur is amping up pressure on both Vice President Kamala Harris and Senator Bernie Sanders to continue to fight for a mandatory $15 minimum wage. Hashtag Save Us Kamala. Hey, your employees are trying to start a union. Cenk, quick, go stop them again. Dripping Cenk. Jimmy Dore has more integrity and chutzpah than you, Cenk, and your projection is obvious. You seem to be trying to maintain a business. Jimmy is attempting to create change, actual change. Thank you, Alex. Before you decide to call Jimmy a scammer, please kindly offer me a refund on the $100 I donated to your reporter drive, all of whom were subsequently fired months later. I'll DM you my credit card info. Remember they pulled that scam where they raised $2 million? They're going to get investigative reporters, then they fired them all. What happened to that money? So now that's $26 million.
I'm just waiting to find out when I read Cenk's book.
Well, yeah, Cenk said he wrote a book and he told people to buy it. He didn't write a book.
You can buy it pre-sale.
You can buy it pre-sale. You can't. You're not supposed to be. That's supposed to be illegal. You're not supposed to be able to sell a book that hasn't been written. It's okay if it hasn't been published, but that's it. And he did it. He sold a book he never wrote. Tick, 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 tick. The walls are closing in, right, Cenk? So that's someone just busting his balls. So there you go. So that was Cenk's day on Twitter. I mean, he kept tweeting about me all day like nut stuff, just like I just showed you. Hey, here's a right winger. That's like Jimmy Dore. What? She says she's a conservative. What? He's just, it's just, when you're getting less than 3,000 live stream viewers and you're supposed to have 5 million subscribers, that's a tough week for Cenk Uygur, and they're melting down. Hey everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.